So here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to Fangoria Radio, the legendary Lloyd Kaufman.
Woo! I love Lloyd. He's so good. I love Lloyd. I love Lloyd. Thank you, Dee. Thank you very much, and I'm very pleased to have with me Jason Yashanin, the star of Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. And as a gay married man, let me tell you that Jason is a very, very good, hairless young man.
Would you say he is exciting as a performer?
Well, he's certainly modern, shall we put it. And he's he's very talented.
I got to ask you, Lloyd, is Jason peeing on in the bathroom worthy? Because that to me is your highest standard, the Debbie Rochon bar that was set.
Well, actually,
several years ago.
What is that?
Well, Jason actually sings a song we've moved up to Explosive Diarrhea. Tell Dee about the song you sing.
What is that, in the bathroom?
Poultrygeist.
Don't I take shit and make a heart out of it?
Yes, you do, yin and yang.
Yeah, so we've
Thank you, Jason.
Up the bar.
Thank you. That's all I'm going to say.
Debbie, I don't know. I mean, being bent over a sink and urinated while you're being banged behind.
Terra Firma, that's right.
I'm just curious, Lloyd, will Dee ever recover from that scene?
Well, I think unless we can, I think we need to sort of give him a virtual, the way they do with the Iraq soldiers, you give him a virtual trip back into time with you and with me urinating on you, and we have to get like a video game, and then Dee can kind of decompress.
Let me explain.
Decompress.
If you remember, if we may go back to a couple years ago, this is one of our early shows, I had not seen Terra Firma. So you were telling me this story, and if you remember, you two, you were telling me like it was real, that Lloyd had
method acting,
Debbie.
Correct.
And my whole, the way that I processed this whole thing, it really scarred the shit out of me. Okay, so I didn't realize it was like a box.
Shit, wait till you see.
Speaking of scarring,
when you see Explosive Diarrhea in Terra Firma, in Poultrygeist, you'll be re-scarred.
Re-scarred.
What is the premise of Poultrygeist? Mm-hmm. What is the premise?
Well, Jason, if I may,
that's all you.
The premise is a fast food chicken restaurant is built on an ancient sacred Indian burial ground, and the billions of chickens who are mercilessly slaughtered every year and tortured and exterminated merge with the spirits of the exterminated Indians, and and Poultrygeist ensues. I think, and it's got some singing and dancing, Dee. The magazine did really you were the first one to write about it. Thank you. You're welcome.
But this is something we've been talking about for a couple of years now.
Yep.
As long as the show's been on the air, how long is this from when did you originally have this idea, Lloyd?
Well, it started back in 2004 when Gabe Friedman and I were cleaning up rat shit that McDonald's rats had created in our basement of the Troma building. And Gabe Friedman, who's our editor, he used to work at a fast food place, and so working for Troma was a big step down. And while we were fighting off these rats the size of kielbasa's, Gabe suggested that, Lloyd, you like to write movies about political themes, Toxic Avenger being ecological, and Class of Nukem High being about the nuclear power plants, and Squeeze Play, women's liberation, and Nymphoid Barbarian and Dinosaur Hell, the Harriet Tubman biography. And so Gabe said, make a movie about the fast food business, and against it, and Gabe pretty much wrote the whole script, and we don't just satirize the fast food industry, we kind of satirize everybody, because other than Dee Snider, Debbie Rochon, and Tony Timponi, I hate everybody.
Jason,
you said shit.
How long have you been working with Lloyd Kaufman and in Troma?
Poultrygeist was my first one, right? When did we shoot that? 3 years ago?
We shot it the summer of 2004. Yes, sir. And, 2004 is the summer. No, 2005. I'm sorry,
in
2005.
Buffalo, New York.
Yep.
My first time and only time working with Lloyd.
But
you're a good dancer and singer, too.
Jason and I sing together, Mr. Snyder.
They do. They do. They have a duet.
And Jason, you should tell Dee what happened while we were laughing so much.
A lot of people thought you were actually my dad, actually seeing the movie. people actually...
They thought Lloyd was your dad?
Yeah, because, you know, he's
Snyder
supposed
was
to...
your dad.
In the film, I'm supposed to be Jason's future. I'm supposed to be his... he's a fast food worker, and I'm supposed to be his... what happens to him 25 years later.
So I always tell people what I'm going to look like when I get older is Lloyd Kaufman, which is a good thing, right?
He looks incredibly youthful, quite honestly.
There's crickets when I said that.
He's an attractive man.
Poultrygeist is my best film, and the two reasons: Gabe Friedman, who really is responsible for the script, and Jason Yushanin and Kate Graham. They are incredibly talented.
Thanks, Lloyd. Thanks, Lloyd.
I mean,
seriously.
Well, everybody knows that Debbie Rochon. There'd be no Lloyd Kaufman without Debbie Rochon. The character gets dumber and dumber and dumber as the movie goes on, and it really is brilliant. It's just we had sort of intended it, but you really made him good.
I'm called the rubber-faced geek in entertainment. Is that bad? Or is
That's very good.
Is that a good thing?
That's a compliment.
Okay. I'm not really sure what that meant.
Was that intentional?
Jim's
intentional stupidity? Was that part of the character arc, or was that just happening to you?
No, the original character arc was supposed to get stupider, but Jason added amazing levels to it. And actually, today's New York Times, Brooks has a notion being that the word geek has become very respectable. Jason.
All right, so I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
Yeah, geek is the new jock.
That's beautiful.
Something like that. Yeah.
All those guys in high school pay now.
Jock?
Well, it's sort of intellectual jock, you know, but it's no
more
longer
valuable.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Geek is successful.
Yeah.
William Gates and people like that.
And we get the girls too, right?
Yes.
We get the girls. Yes.
You know why?
Revenge of the Nerds and
money gets most of the not all the girls.
I don't really have a lot.
Most of the
Lloyd doesn't pay. Well, I can't say that.
But you have Lloyd. You can't say that. Poultrygeist, in which Debbie Rochon was kind enough to do a cameo. Poultrygeist was the number one.
The day I was available, the camera wasn't there.
Well, we're poor, man. We're very poor. And thank you, Dee, for being willing to do that too. That's very nice.
I was.
I know.
The camera wasn't available.
Very, very nice. But anyway, we were the Troma. Poultrygeist was the number one screen in New York City by the same week that Speed Racer opened. And then we were the second largest grossing screen in the country.
You know, you joke around so much. When you get serious, it throws me off. I mean, Lloyd, you must run into people all the time who are a fan of your company's work, and who have gone on to do great things. Is it a frustration to you sometimes when you these people that get the recognition because the inspiration came from the stuff that you've done?
I think it's great, if people if Troma's a good stepping stone. In other words, Jason Yushanin is incredibly talented. He deserves to be a great star.
Much so. Very much so.
And we had to sleep on the floor and eat cheese sandwiches and learn how to defecate in a paper bag, and so he deserves it. And if Troma, if he can, use the Troma thing to move up the food chain, that's terrific. That's great. And a lot of our, James Gunn did Scooby-Doo. He loves Debbie. He's always promoting and talking about Debbie Rochon and Tromeo and Juliet. James Gunn talks more about Tromeo and Juliet than about Slither and Scooby-Doo and all his big...
That's true.
Guy gets over $1 million a script now.
Yeah.
Poultrygeist, we shot about 35 days, Jason Yushanin, right?
Yeah.
And 30 days up in Buffalo, and then a day with Debbie, and a day with blowing things up, and a little... I always
say rehearsal too before that too.
Oh yeah, we had
about 2 weeks of rehearsal.
We had about 2 months of rehearsal back in New York.
Back in New York, yeah. And I don't think you used any of that that we rehearsed.
No.
Well, why?
It was only to see if you guys kept showing up.
I think I had
half of it.
8 callbacks during the initial audition. Yeah, I had 8 of them, I think.
Well, in my new book, I talk a lot about how important pre-production is and how well prepared we are, and then we do throw away the script.
But then,
Jason and Lloyd, thanks so much for being on Fangoria Radio. Everybody go see Poultrygeist. Poultrygeist? I'm out of this now. Tony Timpone, Debbie Rochon.
Fantastic.
And Dee Snider.